When a woman becomes emotionally attached, she rarely expresses it through direct words. Instead, her entire energetic field shifts. You'll notice it not in what she says, but in how she exists around you. Her tone softens, not out of weakness, but out of emotional presence. Her reactions become more mindful, more attuned, as if she's subconsciously checking in with your emotional state before responding with her own. This is not performance, this is resonance. A woman's emotional system is highly intuitive, and when she feels connected, her intuition becomes sharper, more responsive, more aligned with the energy she receives. You'll also find that she listens differently. She's not just hearing your words, she's absorbing the intention behind them, the emotion under them, the hesitation between them. Her attention becomes deeper, slower, more focused. That shift is not accidental, it's attachment settling in, and the beautiful thing is, she doesn't even realize she's doing it. Her energy simply gravitates toward where her heart has anchored itself. Even in silence, there's a noticeable change. She holds eye contact a little longer, pauses before she walks away, lingers in conversations she would normally rush through. Her presence becomes more deliberate, more open, more emotionally available. This shift is not about dependency. It's about alignment, her energy aligning with someone who has begun to matter to her on a deeper level. And here's the subtle truth. A woman doesn't soften her energy for someone who hasn't touched her emotionally. She doesn't open her intuitive awareness unless she feels safe enough to let it amplify. Her energy becomes the first language of her attachment, quiet, steady, unmistakable. Pay attention to that shift. Energy doesn't lie. One of the clearest signs of emotional attachment is the way a woman begins to remember the smallest details she doesn't logically need to remember, but emotionally cannot forget. And this isn't about having a sharp memory, it's about selective psychological imprinting. Human beings remember what matters to them, and for a woman, emotional significance determines what sticks. So when she recalls the way you phrased something weeks ago, or the expression you had during a vulnerable moment, it's not coincidence. It's emotional indexing. Her mind is quietly collecting pieces of you because, on some level, she values them. You'll notice she brings up things you barely realized you said, a joke you cracked in passing, a preference you shared casually, something you dismissed as unimportant. She holds it, stores it, and brings it back at the exact moment it's relevant. This isn't an attempt to impress, it's genuine emotional investment. Her memory becomes a reflection of her care, a mirror showing you where her attention naturally gravitates. What's interesting is how effortlessly this happens. She's not studying you, she's feeling you, and emotions are powerful archivists. They file away anything connected to meaning. Philosophically, it speaks to how humans attach not through grand moments but through micro experiences. It's the tiny things that create emotional gravity, and she notices them because she's not just observing your outer world, she's tuning into your inner one. This is why a woman who is emotionally indifferent forgets easily, but a woman who is attached remembers instinctively. Her memories become a quiet map of where her heart has traveled, and that is something she cannot fake. So pay attention to what she remembers, because what she remembers reveals what she feels. Emotional vulnerability is one of the most revealing indicators of a woman's attachment, and it rarely appears suddenly. It unfolds gradually, like the slow opening of a door she normally keeps locked. A woman doesn't share her deeper layers out of convenience, she shares them out of trust. When she begins to reveal her fears, her doubts, her unfiltered thoughts, she's not looking for validation. She's testing emotional safety. She's observing whether her truth is met with understanding or judgment, and when she feels understood, her vulnerability becomes more fluid, more natural, more sincere. You'll notice she starts expressing things she usually keeps hidden from the world. Maybe she speaks about childhood wounds, future dreams, secret insecurities, or the parts of herself she rarely allows others to see. This openness is not weakness, it's emotional courage. Psychologically, vulnerability is the highest currency of human connection. We don't reveal our internal world unless we believe someone can hold it with care. So when a woman shows her unpolished, unfiltered self, it means the emotional walls she built for protection are starting to lower. There's also a shift in the way she seeks support. She may not ask directly, but she becomes comfortable letting you into her struggles, even in small ways. She might share her stress from the day, her confusion about a decision, or her excitement about a new opportunity. It's subtle, but it's meaningful. Her instinct is no longer, I must handle everything alone. It becomes, I can let this person in. And that shift only happens when attachment has already taken root. Philosophically, vulnerability is the bridge between two emotional worlds. When she steps onto that bridge, she's telling you, even without saying it, that you matter in a way others do not. Honor that openness, because vulnerability offered is trust extended. One of the most subtle yet powerful indicators of emotional attachment is the way a woman responds to shifts in communication. She becomes attuned not just to what is said, but to what is missing. When she's emotionally invested, even a slight change in tone, pace, or presence becomes noticeable to her. And it's not because she's overthinking, it's because emotional connection heightens awareness. She feels the rhythm of the interaction, and when that rhythm changes, her intuition catches it instantly. You'll notice she becomes more alert to gaps in communication. A delayed response that once meant nothing now holds weight. A shorter message that previously felt normal suddenly feels different. Her sensitivity is not rooted in insecurity, it's rooted in emotional alignment. When someone matters to her, her mind naturally scans for consistency. She looks for emotional continuity, not out of control or expectation, but out of genuine connection. This is the psychology of attachment. Our nervous system becomes responsive to the presence and absence of the people we care about. She may not say anything directly because she doesn't want to appear demanding or confrontational. Instead, you'll sense it subtly, a quieter tone, a softer question, a slight pause before she replies. These aren't signs of weakness. They're signs of emotional investment adjusting itself to the energy it receives. She's not worried about losing you, she's concerned about understanding you. This sensitivity is also a protective mechanism. Women learn to read emotional shifts long before they learn to speak about them. It's how they navigate connection, how they evaluate safety, how they decide whether to lean in or step back. So when she notices the smallest changes, it means she's emotionally present enough to care. Remember this, when a woman feels your distance, it's because she values your presence. Another unmistakable sign of emotional attachment is the consistency of her presence, not loud, not overwhelming, not attention, seeking just steady. When a woman begins to care deeply, she naturally finds small, meaningful ways to show up in your life. It may be as simple as checking in, remembering something important coming up for you, sending a thoughtful message, or offering support at moments when you didn't even realize you needed it. These gestures are rarely grand, but they are intentional. They're an expression of emotional investment that requires no announcement. You'll notice that her efforts are not forced. They come with an ease that suggests she isn't trying to prove anything. She's simply following her emotional instinct. Human behavior becomes consistent when the heart is involved, and for a woman, presence is one of the clearest reflections of attachment. She builds a pattern of being there not because she has to, but because she wants to maintain emotional proximity. Psychologically, this is how connection deepens, through repeated moments of showing up. She might reach out when something reminds her of you, or share parts of her day because keeping you informed feels naturally comforting. Her communication gains rhythm, her interactions gain intention, and even in her silence there's a sense of availability. It's her subtle way of saying, I'm here, without ever needing to say it directly. What's important to understand is that consistency is a form of care. Anyone can appear in one moment of excitement. It's the repetitive, steady gestures, the small check-ins, the thoughtful reminders, the gentle follow-ups that reveal genuine emotional grounding. These quiet acts indicate that her attachment is no longer a passing feeling. It has become part of her emotional routine. And this is the truth worth remembering. Presence is the purest form of affection. One of the deepest signals of emotional attachment is the quiet shift in how a woman starts to think about the future. She won't announce it, she won't label it, and she certainly won't pressure it into existence, but her decisions begin to subtly align with a larger vision that includes you. This isn't about planning a life together, it's about imagining a life where your presence remains a consistent thread. And she does this not because she's dependent, but because emotional security naturally expands the mind toward continuity. You'll notice it in the small ways first. She might mention something she wants to try someday, and without saying it, she speaks as if you'll be there. She might consider your preferences when making plans or factor your schedule into her choices without drawing attention to it. These are unconscious signals of emotional integration. Her mind is placing you into her long-term framework because her heart already has. Psychologically, this happens when a connection feels meaningful enough to extend beyond the present moment. Humans don't imagine the future with people they view as temporary. We only project forward when someone has made an emotional imprint strong enough to shape our internal sense of continuity. For a woman, this projection is subtle but powerful. It shows up in her consistency, in her curiosity about your goals, and in how she evaluates opportunities with an awareness of how they might affect the dynamic she values. Philosophically, it reflects a deeper truth. Emotional attachment redefines the horizon. It shifts focus from today's experience to tomorrow's possibility. She begins to see not just who you are, but who you could become together in whatever form that takes. And the message beneath it all is simple. When she includes you in her future, she's already chosen you in her heart.